Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. We're here to do week 24 of Game Day Pick'em. Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. We're here to do week 24, season 4 of Game Day Pick'em here for you guys tonight. All about college basketball this time of year. It is February. What's up, John?
What's going on, man?
We're here to catch up on basketball stuff tonight with you guys. And before we do, let's get a couple of things out of the way. Let's talk about our Facebook. If you are on Facebook with us, man, we appreciate you. Like I said, been saying, we're getting closer and closer to that 8,000 mark. If you've got some friends to share our page with, some family to share our page with, we appreciate you if you would do that, as well as hit that subscribe button. It's 99 cents a month is all it is. It's all we're asking. It's just a little bit to help us keep doing this for you guys, but it does give you your own subscribers page that you guys can post on, as well as polls, ask some questions, that kind of stuff, and a chat room that we are in daily, and try to post some info in there. And keep up with the news and things, and our events are in there, and our shows and our events. So again, guys, it's just 99 cents a month. Hit that subscribe. All right. If you are on YouTube with us, we appreciate you. Our YouTube is growing as well. Been picking up a few each week, it seems like, on our YouTube. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys as well. Hit that like and subscribe on YouTube as well. Again, you can share, tell your friends, tell your family, all that about College SportsCast. All right, John. There is, it's February. We are dead into the college basketball world now. The whole month between now and the middle of March and Selection Sunday, we are going to be doing on our Game Day Pick'em and Big Fuss shows here. We're going to be doing a little bit of bracketology talk with you guys. So we're gonna do that each and every week on Friday nights with you guys now here, and do our pick'ems, and we're going to be doing some topics as well as our bracketology talk. So we're going to do a little bit of both for you guys. John can't seem to get his nest made tonight. What you doing over there?
My mic's acting up tonight, but I'll get it figured out.
Huh.
I'll get it figured out. I'll work with it for next week. So,
all right, John. I'm going to start off tonight with. We did this last week. There's some games on Friday nights that are going on, so we're going to start the show off with an update, John, on UConn and St. John's. If you I don't know if you have logged on. Have you been trying to watch any of the St. John's and UConn game?
I have not, Brad. I just got on to here just a few minutes ago, and I haven't really been able to look and keep up with the games tonight. But I can go on there and look real quick. It's 39 at halftime, tied. So we got a good game going in the Garden. So
39 apiece?
At halftime, yep.
Yeah. All right. Well,
pretty good game going on in the Garden.
UConn and St. John's is a big time rivalry. You've got Hurley against Patino. That's a pretty big deal. It's at the Garden. So this game is being played tonight as we speak. We will go back to this a few times while we are on with you guys and kind of keep you updated and give you an update each time of this game. This is a big one. This is a big one, not just nationally, for the Big East as well. So, can't get no closer than a tie ball game at halftime. All right. Thought we would start out with that. I do have a few topics here that I want to talk about. We've talked about this one a few times on the show, but the hearing was today for the Charles Bediako trial, where he's trying to fight the NCAA for eligibility. Left Alabama in 23, was not drafted, did pick up a two-way contract, has played some for the San Antonio Spurs, I believe. I can't remember now who he played 10 or 12 games in the NBA. And the trial was today. Yesterday evening, the SEC commissioner come out in support of the NCAA, talking about how, it went against the NCAA rules. Today, the ACC commissioner, Phillips, actually come out and supported what Greg Sankey said, and supporting the NCAA as well. I wanted to get your initial thoughts on, I guess, Greg Sankey and Commissioner Phillips.
I think you have to look at it from, Brad, an integrity standpoint. Bediako's return has kind of rubbed coaches and players and people the wrong way. You got Florida coach Todd Golden coming out. He was a little vocal about it. There was a few coaches that was not happy with what's going on. There was some coaches that say it was unfair to the programs that continue to operate within the NCAA framework, have not added former pros to their roster. And you got cases like the football, the Ole Miss. You got the quarterbacks, and then the Tennessee hearing.
Oh yeah. So, there's four big hearings right now where players are fighting eligibility. The Bediako one today was the first one to actually go to trial. The hearing was today. The judge did not make a decision before the end of the day, John. So what that means is he's looks like going to be available tomorrow versus Auburn at least, because I'm sure we won't hear word until Monday. These judges don't work on weekends.
They don't. Listen, there's one thing for certain. This NCAA eligibility decision, regarding professional athletes, college, medical exemptions, all this stuff, players have found a formula here, Brad, by filing lawsuits, arguing breach of contract rather than filing lawsuits in federal court, arguing against antitrust laws.
And they're doing this in the states. This is not at the federal level. The federal level has held things up a few times.
Here's the problem you're going to have if he gets available. Well, let's look at it from two different angles. If he don't get eligible, it kind of shuts down everything. You're going to have players kind of back off a little bit. And now you got players, I read yesterday, Amari Bailey is going to visit Grand Canyon.
Yeah. I saw today there's a 25-year-old that is waiting for this decision. And if Bediako wins, he plans on applying. He's 25, been out of college for several years, I can't remember the kid's name, but like this is getting way out of hand.
Well, look at the A&M, AG, one of their players. Seems like he's been in college for 6-7 years. USC, there was another school he was at.
Oh, yeah.
Here's where it's going to get knocked down. It's going to open the floodgates. Is if Bediako gets approved and he gets put eligible, you're going to see players from all over.
It's going to start hitting football too. It's going to hit the NFL.
It's going to hit the NFL. Yeah.
If you go to the draft in the NFL and don't get drafted, instead of like going to camp for the Baltimore Ravens as an unrestricted free agent, why not just fight to go back to college?
Yep. Basically what you're looking at. But
yeah.
Hopefully we'll hear something this week, maybe, by Monday, Tuesday at the latest. So even with that, Nate Oates even mentioned, I think it was today, he was going to keep him on scholarship, even if he does not.
Well, good for Nate Oates is all I can tell you. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's a crock of crap. Here's my deal, okay? These kids are young men, I'm going to say, that are 23, 25 years old. This is a college sports. These are individual universities who now have agreed to pay players, okay, themselves. What that means is each individual university is agreed to pay undergraduate college kids by their rules for the NCAA. Okay. This is not a professional league. That's not what this is. And what bothers me the most is the law and these antitrust laws and all this stuff that they are using is acting as if this is some kind of professional sports league. It's not. That's not what this is. There is no professional sports league here. And what bothers me the most is that that's the way they are treating this. They're arguing that, that Bediako lost all possibilities of money because he didn't get drafted and he's been out for 2 or 3 years, and that he's lost this possible pay and all this stuff. Well, I hate to tell you, but kid, you chose to go pro and to stay in the draft. You chose to sign a 2-way contract with the NBA. Those were your decisions. You chose that. You chose to not only sign the contract, to show up for the contract, you chose to put on an NBA uniform. Those were your decisions. So guess what? You have to live with the consequences of not being a college kid no more. You don't get to do that and then play. I think it's asinine what's going on. This is not a pro league. This is undergraduate individual universities. And I think it's absolutely asinine. Not only that, John, what you've been preaching for the last 3 months, think about what this is doing to the high school ranks. I mean, these kids are going to be shit out of luck, to be quite honest. When the floodgates open here, these kids are going to be shit out of luck. I think Mashburn had some knee problems. Oh, me, Josh. I mean, it's not a pro sports league. We're not talking about a sports league. That's not what this is. And I don't understand why these laws are treating it like that's what it is. These are undergraduate college kids. That's who gets to play college sports. Blows my mind, to be honest with you. All right, one more topic, and then we're going to get to some bracketology. John, I don't know if you caught this yesterday evening, but the SEC has distributed they had over $1 billion, $1.03 billion in revenue out of the 16 teams for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. And yesterday it was announced that they have distributed $72.4 million to each full member school. That is up from a little bit over 53 plus million last year. So a $19 million increase at least here, John, for each member in the SEC. Did you see these numbers, and what's your initial thought on this?
I think it helps teams like Kentucky, teams like, Mississippi State, teams that are kind of on the end of that middle of the pack. I think it helps teams like Arkansas to kind of use their revenue share to kind of add players to their roster. Helps with football, basketball. Now, Kentucky basketball probably is not really needed in that one because Kentucky basketball has got their own way of doing things. I think, their talent and their tradition and brand alone probably would bring players there. But from a football aspect of it, I think it helps with the football program. What you normally wouldn't get, say, for instance, look at this past, transfer portal period. You had C.J. Baxter. You had Nick Anderson. You had the Javonte Barnes. You got Minchie. You got a pretty competitive team that you put together. And a lot of that was with
those
money.
Offensive tackles and stuff.
Offensive tackles, Lance Hurd, Coach Price.
Yep.
So that helps in regards to the football program, I think.
So it's kind of odd because the number for the NIL share or the revenue share is about 20 and a half million, and you got nearly a $20 million bump here. So it kind of covers the cost of some of that revenue share.
Yeah, it's a big deal, Brad. I like it for the SEC. I think, it's going to help teams that normally don't get into that top money region. And I think, like I said, it helps teams like Kentucky, the Arkansas of the world.
It'll help programs like Georgia in basketball.
In basketball, yes.
Yeah.
Teams like LSU in basketball.
Right.
Teams that normally don't get those players are going to start kind of gaining a little bit of momentum in the NIL, and it helps with their NIL money.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because I think it was a pretty fun topic. It's interesting because, the Big Ten still hasn't released their numbers for 2024, 2025 yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how much the Big Ten revenue shares are going to be for each member school. And some of these conferences are doing it different now. So they're not all getting equal shares. The SEC is still equal shares. So, all right, John, we're going to get into some bracketology stuff. And I've got 4 topics here that we're going to do on Friday nights for you guys. Like I said, from now, February, all the way through March until Selection Sunday. I'm going to let John talk about the men's side of it, and I'm going to add just to a few teams on each topic about the women's side of it as we talk. So My first one is March Madness bracketology. We're going to talk about the headliners. This is going to be, John, the top teams that you think are the top teams. I'll let you do 4 or 5 teams here. It's your choice.
I'll do 6.
All right.
I'm gonna go Michigan. I think Michigan's playing at a really high level right now. Dusty May's got them playing at a really, really high energy. Yaxelborg is playing really good. Yaxel Lindenborg, Elliot Cadeau, they got a really good team. Arizona, Jaden Bradley, they're playing really well. I put them at 2. 3 would be Houston. Kingston Flemings might be, to me, one of the best freshmen in the country that nobody knows about, talks about. Sharp. They play defense, Brad. They're probably one of the top teams in the country when it comes to defense. 4 would be Illinois. Illinois plays a fun style of basketball. They run and gun. They got a player by the name of Keaton Wagler that most people don't even know about that really was not supposed to come on like he has.
He was a 3-star basketball player.
And has pretty much got him some money this season. Let's be honest.
Illinois, before you move on from Illinois real quick, they've won 12 in a row.
Yeah, they're playing good. And they got a big one tomorrow night against Michigan State, which is a tough game in Lansing. And I don't think Tom Izzo's real happy right now with what's going on. And
that's one we're going to talk about a little later.
Number 5, I would go Iowa State. I think they're playing really well this season. They're 20-2. Taman Limpsey is playing well for them. Joshua Jefferson, Blake Buchanan. They got a really fun team. I like this team. Millen, that's what I know him by. That's his first name. I can't pronounce his last name. He's from Europe or somewhere. He's a big power guy in the middle. I like him. I think he's averaging like 72 minutes per game, I believe. 72% per game. He's playing a lot of minutes for them. And I want to go 6. I could have went either Duke or UConn, but I'm going to go Duke. I just, I really like this Duke team, Brad, and I don't normally say a lot about Duke. I try to stay away because you know how, they're your bitter rival. You hate them. You don't want – but this Duke team is really fun to watch. I like this Duke team. Boozer is playing absolutely outstanding. Isaiah Evans is playing well. Caleb Foster. You got Dame Sarr playing a few minutes here and there. You got Malik Brown. Yeah, this team is so good. And I would not be shocked if they're in the Final Four this season.
Well, they got there last year, so we'll see if they can get back or not. So on the women's side, John, I mean, you got to put Texas in here. Texas is playing, I think, lights out, maybe as good as anybody in the country. They rebounded last night and beat LSU at home last night pretty good. LSU beat them in Baton Rouge a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Vic Schaefer and company last night put it on them. Beat them 77-64, I believe, last night. Just got a great team with Madison Booker, Rory Harmon, the shooter girl named Lee, and they just have a really, really good team. A great freshman down up there in Austin as well. So I'm going to go Texas. Of course, you got to put UConn in here. UConn is playing great. They have 2 of the better players in the country on that team, along with a lot of other pieces with Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd. And then South Carolina, I mean, they put it on Alabama last night, playing really well, and got a lot of pieces back with Raven Johnson and Tessa Johnson, and Joyce Edwards is got over 1,000 points last night in 69 games, less than 2 years. I mean, just a stellar group at South Carolina. UCLA is in this group, man. UCLA, Kiki Rice and Lauren Betts and company. They have a great team out west. I think Michigan is in this group. I'm going to put Michigan in this. The Swords girl, and I mean, they just play so well. These two teams actually match up, I think, this week. We'll talk about them a little later. But I think Michigan might be in there as well. So that's probably LSU as an outside shot here, but I don't really think they're a headliner just yet. So I'm going to go with those 5 for tonight. And then, John, I'm going to let you go. This group is called Catching Fire. These are teams that, has showed a lot, say, in the last month or 6 weeks since Christmas, here in the back half of the season, that seems to be playing really well. So that's what the Catching Fire group is about.
Yeah, number one, I'm just going to say it, the Florida Gators. They have been playing absolutely outstanding.
They have.
Boogie Flan, Thomas Howell. This Florida team is really good. And I'll be honest with you, they are kind of playing like they did when the end of the year last year. If, kind of put it together now, they probably not going to be a 1 seed. They're going to have a lot kind of go their way to be a 1 seed this year. They could get a 2 or a 3. But the way Todd Golden has them playing, I really like this Florida team. My second one would be, I'm going to go Kansas. Kansas is playing really well right now. Darren Peterson, listen, y'all, the kid is an absolute star. When the game is on the line, he can make shots. We hit a game-time three-pointer the other night against Texas Tech, and he ended up winning it with a late 3. The kid can absolutely play, and it kind of gives to the fact that everybody was thinking, well, why ain't he playing? Why is he sitting? Well, he proved that theory. He played the whole game the other night. So, this kid can play. I think a lot of it, he has been hurt. He's been dealing with a lot of cramps. When you're playing ball, Brad can tell you, he's been around players. When you're getting these cramps, it's tough to get out there on the floor and kind of move around on the hardwood.
Yeah, it is.
3, I'm going to go Kentucky. I think Kentucky's catching fire. 7 of the last 8. Otega Ole, to me, is playing like the SEC Player of the Year that he played.
10 of the last 14 games has been 20-plus, I believe.
Yeah, and Colin Chandler's coming to his own. Colin, was kind of in the doghouse early in the year. He's kind of barked his way out of the doghouse, so to speak, and he's finally figuring out how to hit some, jumpers. He's normally noticed for his 3-point shooting, but he's hit some solid jumpers and some step backs that have kind of helped Kentucky put some games away. So 3 would be Kentucky. 4, I don't really know. I'll tell you a team I'm going to go with, Brad. I'm going to go with St. Louis, the Billikens. Trey Green, Robbie Avila. Everybody calls him the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's the white Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The kid absolutely play, Brad. He's so good. He's so good and clutch. He had a big shot last week.
If y'all remember Indiana State a couple of years ago, that's him. Yep. Their coach came over from Indiana State, and he's got them rolling.
He does. I mean, they're playing efficient.
They're 22-1.
Their offensive efficiency, Brad, is so good. Like they share the ball, they pass the ball. Like it's just beautiful basketball. 4, man.
That was 4.
Oh, that was 5. Yeah. I'm probably gonna go NC State. They figured things out a little bit. Quidera Copeland is playing really well. Darian Williams is playing. He's finally figuring his role. Darian Williams, to me, is an X factor for this team. If he can bring it every single night and, just go for 15 and 11, 12 rebound, this NC State team can be dangerous in the tournament. Because Will Wade is, let's be honest, bro, he's a damn good coach.
He's a good coach. He really is.
He knows how to put his players in good positions and whatnot. And that's my team for number 5, right?
Yep, that is. All right. So on the women's, you got
6,
another one?
Oh yeah, I'm doing 6 each time. 6, I'd probably go Utah State. Utah State's playing good out in the Mountain West. MJ Collins, former Vanderbilt player, Maslaff, he's playing well for them. Gary Clark, Colby King. This is a fun Utah State team. They blew out San Diego State last week, or the night before last, I think. Beat them by like 20 plus. They're probably the leaders of that conference. Mountain West is tough. I think it was 1 year. A couple of years ago, they had 4, 5, 6 bids, but I don't see that many bids coming out of there this year. Maybe 2 at the most.
Yeah.
So that's my.
Yeah, I don't think they're as good as they were. So,
no.
But
that Utah State team can play.
Yeah,
they can play.
On the girls' side here, on the women's side here for the college basketball catching fire, man, I'm going to start with Duke. Duke has really turned their season, and I mean turned their season. They started 3-6. 3-6. They had some injuries. They looked just distraught, pitiful, to be quite honest with you. And they went into Louisville last night and beat Louisville, who had won 12 or 13 in a row straight. Louisville had. And I believe last night was either 14 or 15 in a row for this Duke team. This Duke team was a top 5, top 10 preseason team, fell completely on their face to start the season, and just has played extremely, extremely well. They still have one girl out, but man, they've got a couple of pieces back and put something together here. So I'm going to put Duke as number 1. I'm going to say Louisville. I mean, Louisville, they lost first time last night at home, 59-58. But I think Louisville has really just kind of caught fire. They also struggled out of the gate, early in the season here, and have turned things around. Waltz has done a great job with Louisville. I'm going to put Vanderbilt in this one. And I know Vanderbilt is like 22-2 or something, but they just lost 2 games and now come in last night. Michaela Blake's is special, man. I mean, just absolute special. They are playing fantastic all season long. I'm not quite ready to put them in the headliners, but I'm going to tell you, this team could get there with Vandy. Another one I want to put in here catching fire is Texas Tech. Texas Tech on the women's side has really come on strong, has been playing really well. They beat TCU last week on Sunday, and TCU has been a top 8, top 10 team for 2 years, last year included. And this year they've got Olivia Miles and some really good pieces. Texas Christian does, TCU, and Texas Tech is like 21-3 or something, and just really having a spectacular year. So that's the teams I'm gonna talk about here for our catching fire for bracketology. So our next bracketology bracket is losing steam. So these are some teams, John, that started out really well, but seem to be falling on some hard times lately.
I'm going to go Georgia Bulldogs. They've not looked great. as you know, they got down 22-2 to Texas A&M at home. You know, they lost to Tennessee, which, to be fair, Tennessee's a pretty good team, but you should win those games at home. Georgia has not looked like Georgia that started conference play and that started, you know, the non-con. They just looked like a team that was ready to challenge for the SEC, and now they're like 4-5 in the conference, and they're virtually playing just to you know, play, not being able to play a first round game like the first night. It's puzzling to me how they've kind of drifted off a little bit. I'm gonna go another one, and this one's probably not, you know, I don't know how to explain it, Brad. You know, it's more of the coach than it is the players, and that's Cincinnati. You know, Cincinnati beat Iowa State. You know, I thought they was going to make a little run there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Wes Miller time is getting pretty short in Cincinnati. You know, I know last night he had a, you know, post-game conference, and he was kind of chirping to the fans that he understands this and that he knows that this is a problem, but you got to fix it. You cannot, I mean, you can say that over and over and over and over. Like, I get where he's coming from, but you got to figure things out. You know, there's one way to say it, but there's another way to prove it on the court, and they're just not doing that right now. And I feel for the guy because he wants to win there, Brad, but I just think since Cronin's left, Cincinnati has just not been Cincinnati.
Yeah, they've definitely fallen off from what they used to be.
The third one, I'm going to go Seton Hall. Seton Hall was starting out non-con play really, really fast. They've kind of faltered in the Big East. You know, I'll be honest with you. The Big East is basically UConn, St. John's, and Villanova right now. And the rest of them, it's just like a mad pursuit to who can settle for third or fourth best. Like, the Big East this year is just not great as a whole, as a whole unit, as a conference. So 4, this is a tough one, Brad. Trying to think. I'm gonna go Alabama. You know, they had a tough non-con. You know, they won a few games. Then they kind of got into the SEC. They're sitting at what, 5-4. There was a lot of people that picked Alabama to win the SEC.
They're 2-2 with Bediako.
Yeah. I mean, they have just not looked like an Alabama. Like, I'll tell you the problem, I think, with Alabama. If you watch the game on that, they do not play a lick of defense. And if you're going to play in this league, you got to stop some teams.
They just got to outscore everybody. And
if you can't stop teams, you're just not going to win many games. Let's be honest. My last one. Yeah, they're going to hate me for this one. The Louisville Cardinals. They don't look like the team that, you know, beat Kentucky. They don't look like the team that was scoring 80, 90 points to begin the year. They look like a team that has no identity. You know, their defense sometimes gets lackadaisical. You know, they was down to Notre Dame a little bit early in the game. They got down to Virginia and lost. Like, I don't think Micah Brown is as healthy as everybody's saying he is. And everybody's saying, well, he's not playing because he's sitting out. He's going to the pros. No, I actually think Michael Brown is hurt. And I don't think he's as what he was early in the year as he was to now.
That's fair.
Now, if you'd have told me, 8 games in, to me, Louisville's an Elite 8 Final Four team. Now, I'm not so sure they get to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I'm not either, to be honest. I mean, not the way they've been playing. They have the potential. They could get there, but.
And Ryan Conwell, if he's going to go 1-for-9 like he did the other night, you're not going to win many basketball. Now, they did beat Notre Dame, but let's be honest. I mean, who couldn't beat Notre Dame right now? But if you go 1-9 against a good team, you're not going to win many games if Michael Brown's not playing great. So that's my 5. I ain't going to go for another one because we got to hurry up and get to the games.
So losing steam, I'm going to go Notre Dame here on the women's side. Notre Dame has just not looked like Notre Dame this year. On the women's side, they, Olivia Miles.
Hidalgo, though, she's playing as good as anybody. So
Hidalgo's there, but they just don't look like the normal. Olivia Miles transferred out. They lost a couple other pieces. Leah Macy, who is from Kentucky, that Kentucky fans will know, is out injured. She's not returning. I'm not great with them. I think USC is another team, and Jazzy Davison is fantastic. And for a freshman, she's having a fantastic year.
The thing about I'll say this about the girls, the USC, it's not that they're losing, it's that when they play good teams, they're getting blowed out.
Yeah. I mean, they're winning the games against non-really good teams, but when they play good teams, they just are not anywhere in the game. So I'm going to put USC in there. I'm also going to put Mississippi State on here. Mississippi State starts every year. Purcell looks like he's doing a great job there, Sam Purcell, and I love Purcell. He's a great human being. I've talked to him several different times. He's a great human being. He knows me. He'll call me by name, so I'm not saying anything bad about the man. He's a great guy, but when SEC play starts every year, they just struggle. And I'm gonna put Mississippi State in there, and then I hate to do it, y'all, but Kentucky girls are not looking real great right now. They are definitely losing some steam. 2 weeks ago, they were a number 2 seed. And I'm going to be honest with you right now, after last night, they got beat by 1 at home by Michaela Blake's and this Vandy team. They have lost 5 of their last 8 games. Now, Tiana Key's been out. So they went 2-4 without her. Tiana Key had a great game last night, but the girls have to figure out how to pass the ball better, get the ball up the floor. Outlet passes are a big, big thing right now. Everybody has figured out to put a little pressure on this team because right now it looks like the only 2 people that can get the ball up the floor by dribbling is Tony Morgan and Tiana Key. Nobody else seems to be able to bring the ball up the floor without turning it over. I'm hoping the girls can figure it out. They were 15-1, went to Baton Rouge, beat LSU on the road, which is a big, big deal. Was 2-0 in the SEC. Now they're sitting at 5-5. John,
I'll be honest with you, Brad. If they hadn't beat LSU, you might be looking at an 8-9 seed.
Yeah, I mean, right now I don't think they will host. They hosted last year, as a top 4 seed. Right now, it does not look like they will. They have a tough schedule coming up. They play Texas on Monday night. They still have to go to South Carolina. They still play at Vandy, who beat us last night. I mean, they have a tough road ahead. So Kenny and the girls have a tough road to right the ship. Let's put it that way. All right, John, the last one is outside looking in.
That's a good one. I might go Indiana. They beat Purdue a few weeks ago. Darren DeFries is doing really, really good with that group. Lamar Wilkerson, Reed Bailey, Sam Alexis, Nick Dorn is playing really well for them. I like Nick Dorn. He's a really good player. 2, I think, would be UCLA. I think they've kind of figured things out. They're 16-7. Mick Cronin continues to blast the media. Unfortunately, it's getting to be a sneak.
I mean, Cronin seems to be right on the bubble line all the time.
He does, and they got Sky Clark, Donovan Dent. He played good the other night. They need more, to me, out of Xavier Booker, the Michigan State transfer. Eric Daly Jr. This is a good team. I just don't think they're Sweet 16 good. Now, I think they can win a game in the tournament, but that's probably going to be it. 3, I'm trying to think, Brad. Trying to think of that's tough. I might go Texas. They're sitting at 14-9. Sean Miller's got them playing pretty well right now. They got Dalen Swain. Listen, y'all, Dalen Swain is a really good basketball player. He had, I think, 26 against Kentucky, 27. He really put it on the Wildcats, and if it wasn't for Swain, Texas wouldn't have been in that game.
Yeah, he's a good player.
Jordan Pope, Tremont Mark, Wiltshire. This team's probably going to be sitting on the bubble till Selection Sunday. Would it be fair to say Michigan State?
I mean, I don't think they're on the outside.
I wouldn't say they're outside looking in. There's some things there that they haven't played well. I could have put them in the kind of group that was following a little bit, but this is a tough one, man.
It is. I'm not sure who to put in this on the women's side. I mean, the women's side, to be honest with you,
maybe Wisconsin. I mean, they got a big game with Indiana tomorrow. I really like this Wisconsin team. Nick Boyd, John Blackwell. They probably need a big win tomorrow to beat Indiana. I think, that's a bubble game. Let's just be honest. I think Indiana needs it. Wisconsin needs it. But beyond that, I just don't know a lot of other teams that are just like right there.
It'll get a little easier as we get closer and closer to March and into March, a week into March and stuff. It'll definitely get a little easier to do this one as we go. Right now on the women's side, I'm going to put Florida in this one. Florida's got a lot of good pieces, and I think they have a good coach. I really like the job that Kelly does there, and I think they have a good coach. And Shaquille O'Neal's daughter's there, Liv McGill's there, and Reynolds is there. They have a lot of good pieces, and they were winning some ball games. They were 11-3 or 10-3 or something like that at one time. But SEC play started and they've just struggled. I think they were 2-7, or they might still be 2-7 in the SEC.
Well, they had the lead on Vanderbilt, and I don't
know. Kentucky had to come back and beat them. So right now I'm definitely going to put Florida in that group that's probably on the outside looking in. And I will get back with you guys on this one next week on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a bracketologist to come on for our show.
Yeah. I'm really going to have to kind of study the women's standings and stuff a little bit better all around.
Yeah, I had talked to Brad about this today. I said I was going to try to get one of our normal bracketologists to come on and kind of break down things with us. Mostly the top seeds in the bubble, like the top 4 seeds in the bubble teams.
Yeah,
because listen, there's so many teams. I don't even think the bubble's that great this year.
Imagine if we had to put 76 teams in, or 90 whatever 6 teams, or whatever they keep talking.
That's exactly why I say that leave it as it is.
Yeah, because Lord have mercy. It's hard enough right now to even say these teams deserve to be in. The one team we did not talk about on the men's side that I do want to at least give a little bit of love to here tonight, Miami of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're still undefeated.
I do. But their strength of schedule is terrible. Like,
well, it is, but they're playing the teams that's in front of them and winning games. So, just a little shout out here that we don't talk about them much. So, all right, we're going to get to some picks here, John. Oklahoma State is at Arizona, 21.5-point favorite. The Wildcats are at home here, but Oklahoma State is like 16-6 or something like that, playing a pretty good ball. So, do you give them any chance at all? This Arizona team's been sawing everybody off, it seems like.
This Arizona team is so good. Coa Pete, Braden Burries. They got Jaden Bradley. For me, I feel like Oklahoma State is going to have some trouble rebounding. Arizona is pretty big in the middle. They got Toby Awaka, Crevice, and they got, Coa Pete. And to go to the McKell Center and have to pull out a win is going to be difficult. Now, I will say
21.5, though.
I will say it's a little high. I think I'll take Oklahoma State to cover the spread, but I don't see them going in. And
I was going to ask you about the spread because I think that spread's a little high, to be honest.
I don't think they'll win this game. Arizona's playing really well right now. Now, there's some games coming up that Arizona could get knocked off. They play Kansas coming up, I think Monday at Lawrence. I think that's a game that could probably be a worrisome game. Now, whether they lose one or two, I think Arizona is going to be settled in for a 1-seed or at worst a 2-seed. This is a good Arizona team. Tommy Lloyd is a heck of a basketball coach.
He is. He's one that I mentioned last year. I just want to say that.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you.
I heard you. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, John. Duke at North Carolina. This might be one of the greatest rivalries in college basketball, at least for fans. Overall fans, I think a lot of people would say this rivalry. Duke's a 5.5-point favorite in Chapel Hill.
Man, do people realize how big of a rivalry this is? It's absolutely intense. The fans, the back and forth, the offenses, the defense.
Here's my thing about this rivalry. Is the hatred there like it is for Louisville and Kentucky?
I think it is. I think it is among the fans. Now,
maybe fans.
I think players have a competitive edge. I think you're going to see some, you're going to see some chippiness. But I think overall,
you don't see too many breakups and brawls and things like that.
I don't know. It's a different age, Brad. But anyways,
have you seen Kentucky play this year?
I have.
They're not playing like it's a different age.
I feel like if North Carolina can get out and hit some shots, is Duke's backcourt better than North Carolina's? I don't think so.
That's where I think this game turns, because here's what I want to say, John. The interesting thing about this game is the 2-star big guy, power forward guys, freshmen. When you got Boozer versus Wilson in this one, that's a hell of a matchup to watch, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Boozer goes for 30, and possibly still lose this game. Now, most of the time in this game, you see a split. You see a win at Tar Heels. You see now there's been a couple of cases where they've swept.
You want to know what this Duke team is missing?
A score.
Outside of Cameron Boozer, do they really have a score?
Not exactly.
This team is missing.
Evans is good, but
it's missing Con Knippel. That's who this team is missing.
They're missing a guy that can just light up for like 20 points.
They're not missing Batman. They're missing Robin.
Yeah, they are.
That's what this Duke team is missing.
They got Batman. They got Boozer.
I said they're not missing Batman. They're missing Robin.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with North Carolina. I'm gonna do it, Brad. I normally don't go against Duke, but I think North Carolina's backcourt is better than Duke's. I do.
Let me ask you this question, John, about this matchup. I had a couple, and this is one I wanted to ask you. North Carolina's got some guys on this team that has played in this rivalry and knows all about this rivalry.
I think experience matters in this type of game.
Duke really doesn't have very many guys that's actually played very many minutes in this rivalry.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like,
I think I'm gonna go Tar Heels though, Brett. I think they get it done at home. Now I think Duke could catch them at Cameron indoors, but I do believe that North Carolina wins this game. I think their backcourt gets it done.
Yeah, Trimble, he's played in this game 6 times. This is at Chapel Hill. I mean, give me the Tar Heels and the 5.5. I don't know if they win, but if I'm betting, I'm taking the Tar Heels and 5.5. That's what I see in this one. All right, I got to scroll up. Sorry. The next game that we're going to talk about is a big one here, John. Number 5, Illinois, is at number 10, Michigan State. And Michigan State, let's be honest, has not played well lately. They were playing great. I'm not sure what in the world happened. Izzo's been all over Fears. Fears hasn't looked the same.
Well, let's be honest. Michigan State is facing real pressure for the first time. You're going up against one of probably the hottest teams in the Big Ten.
It's the hottest, probably.
Illinois is on a 12-game winning streak. Michigan State lost at home to Michigan. They went on the road. They lost to Minnesota.
Who?
The Gophers.
Who?
Then you got the whole Jeremy Fears.
Like 12-10 or something like that?
Yeah. And then you got the whole Jeremy Fears, kicking a guy in his cojones. Like there's a lot of stuff, and Dusty May called out Fears for a lot of stuff last week in the Michigan game.
But here's what I want to say, John. When is Tom Izzo at his best?
When his back's against the wall.
I'm just saying.
Illinois they're not just – the thing about it is, though, Brad, I've watched this Illinois team. Keaton Wagler, Boswell's out right now, which I don't know how they're going to handle that when Boswell comes back. But
the size does worry me for Michigan State because Illinois
team gets, cranking, they can beat anybody. And the thing about it is they're not just beating teams, they're demolishing these teams.
Yeah.
Like Northwestern.
This is the third straight week they have played a top 10 team on the road on a weekend.
Northwestern, their funeral was at halftime. Like they didn't even get up off the mat. Like it was, Keaton Wagler threw up a half court shot, and I looked over at a buddy of mine. And I said, this is just like it's like this Illinois team is a team of destiny. I think. Now, they had a good team last year, but I think last year's team didn't have what they have this year. They don't have a bunch of scorers.
Well, John, right now they're playing nobody that's under 6'6".
And
Nobody.
let's be honest, they went on the road and beat a daggone good Nebraska team.
Yeah, a really good
Yes.
Nebraska team on the
That's-
road.
That's
They also went on the road and beat was it somebody as a top 10 team 2 weeks ago.
That was Purdue.
Michigan. Purdue. That's it. Purdue. They beat Purdue.
I'm gonna say this
on the road.
I love this Illinois team, but I can't go against Tom Izzo in a game like this.
Man, look, all I'll say is this: is Tom Izzo is at his best when everybody is against him and his back's against the wall. I would venture to say, John, that the past few days at practice in East Lansing
have not been good.
Has not been fun.
No, especially in this cold weather. Like you're.
I'm going to say practice has been a hellacious adventure for the last few days.
Yeah,
and I think Izzo's going to have this team ready to play. I would be surprised that 2 of the 3 games they've lost has been at home. I'll be surprised if he's not got the whips out in the last 2 or 3 days for practice, to be honest.
I'm going to go Michigan State. I love this Illinois team. I think they can do some really special things this year. Listen, Keaton Wagler is, to me, he's a
diamond in the rough.
He's earning some money, and he's
diamond in the rough.
I wouldn't be shocked if he goes.
It's proof that they're still out there. You can still find them.
You just got to find them. So, give me Michigan State. I like this idea where their backs against the wall.
I'm going Sparty because their backs against the wall. This Illinois team right now is playing better. I actually think they have the overall better team, but this is in East Lansing, and they've not been playing well. And I don't think they're going to want to drop another one because Izzo might lose his complete marbles if they do.
Yeah.
All right, John. Clemson is at California. Clemson's a 3.5-point favorite. We won't take a lot of time on this one, but these are 2 pretty good teams in the ACC. California, has been playing pretty well. I think they're like 16-6. They're at home in this.
I'm going to say one thing. I think Clemson wins this game, but what a heck of a job Mark Matson's doing out there in California.
Yeah, man, they've been playing really well. Like he's doing well. North Carolina went out there and got beat.
Yep.
I mean, to be honest with you, out there,
they beat Georgia Tech last week.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good team.
Yeah, I mean, this California team is no slouch. I wouldn't be shocked if the Golden Bears win this one, but I am going to take the Tigers. Brad does a great job there, so I am going to take the Tigers in this one. All right, John, these are Sunday games. Texas Tech is at West Virginia. West Virginia won a big one last week at home, and now they get Texas Tech going in there that's coming off a loss or 2 here. So do the Red Raiders do very good at West Virginia with the Mountaineers?
This is a tough game, especially on the road. West Virginia is so up and down. You really don't know which West Virginia team you're going to get. But, man, Honor Huff, when he's going for West Virginia, they can score. But I think I'm going to go Toppin and this Texas Tech team. They're kind of struggling right now. They've hit a kind of a lull. But I think going on the road and kind of making their mark, I think they win this game and kind of get back to Texas Tech basketball. And
that's wrong, by the way. This game is tomorrow.
Saturday,
this is on Saturday. This is wrong.
I think there's an.
I've got them in there. I've got them in there down the road, but I don't know why I put that in there. But I am going to take the Red Raiders. Listen, West Virginia's having a great season, and they could steal another one here at home. But I just think the Red Raiders turn this around. JT Toppin's going to figure it out. So give me Texas Tech in this one. Then we're going to go to Florida is at Texas A&M. Florida's a 7.5-point favorite. Buckyball has been playing great, John.
They pressure you so much.
Damn near stole one at Alabama the other day.
They get after you. That they just come at you in ways, man. You know, and sole possession of first place in the SEC's on the line. So This is a huge, huge game for both teams. Mark, Alex Condon, I think, had 25 the other night. Chinyulu's playing really, really well. Aggies are just right outside the top 25, Brad.
I think 7.5 is a little high. If I'm going to be a betting man, I'm going to take the Aggies here in the 7.5. I do think the Gators win this game, though.
I feel like for A&M to win this game, they're going to have a couple guys kind of step out. Rashawn Agee, Ryland Griffin. When Ryland Griffin is hitting his shots, this team can go to another level. But he missed. There's a guy
that I said we should have got last year.
Yep. He missed a shot to tie it to go to overtime against Alabama, but they're 12-1 at home at Reed Arena. Okay. This is going to be a tough game for Florida, I think, and it's at the same time as Kentucky, Tennessee. There's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow night. There's a lot of great games. So SEC tomorrow is huge. There's some huge road games, some huge games that have a lot of effect on the SEC race. So I'll be keeping my eye on this one, but I think I'm going to go the Gators. I think the Gators get it done at Reed Arena.
It's going to be a tough place to play, but all right. Houston is at BYU. Houston is actually a 1.5-point favorite at BYU. Mm-hmm. The Cougars really have kind of went through a tough patch here.
Brad, they don't have a top win. Like, they don't have a huge like put it on that resume type win.
Yeah.
It's February.
It is February, yeah. Yeah.
Now, listen, to be fair, AJ DeBonsa has played really, really well. BYU
Saunders has played well most games that I've seen.
The problem that BYU has, Brad, is they get behind in games. They get down 10, 15 points. Now, let's be fair. Their offense can score with any of them. But are they really going to score points against a really good Houston team?
It's pretty hard to score against Houston.
I mean, they have, like I said, Saunders, Wright, they got Keaton in the middle.
This game is in Provo. Is that going to help them any at all?
Could. Brad, I know I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to go BYU at home. But don't be shocked if Houston wins this game.
So BYU, this is a game BYU absolutely. Like they hit a rough spot here. Like,
I'm not saying they're really going to miss the tournament, but I mean, you got to win some of these games, man.
If they're going to stay in the top 20, they got to win this game.
Okay, Brad, I'm looking at their schedule right now. They beat Villanova. They beat Wisconsin. They beat Miami. They beat Dayton. They beat Clemson. Let's be fair, that's a decent win. But beyond that, they don't have a top win. Clemson might be their best win.
Yeah. I mean, look, anytime you play in Houston, you better be ready for a fight.
Yeah, it's going to be street fight.
I mean, honestly, their defense is fantastic. It's stellar. You're going to have to fight for everything you get, and this BYU team needs the win. I'm going to take the Cougars here. Well, they're both Cougars. Yeah, so I'm going to take BYU in this one. I was thinking about that after I said it, and I thought, well, Hell, that means I could pick either one of them. All right. All right. Kentucky, Tennessee, John. The Cats are a 1.5 favorite at home tomorrow. They're wearing the denim. Everybody's talking about it. The 96 team is going to be there. Coach Patino's talking about his love for the 96 team today on social media, right before he's playing UConn, by the way. So
I got to tell you a funny quote that Rick Barnes said right before he was talking about Saturday. He said, I just know this. If we don't play hard for 40 minutes, we shouldn't even drive up there. Mark Pope has done a really terrific job with this group, and they just took us apart in that second half.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot. You know, Kentucky, to me, they were sitting at 0-2, Brad, in conference play.
Now they're sitting in second place.
You mark that, loss against Missouri off. Kentucky's probably looking at tie for first place in the SEC.
Yep.
Always playing good. Garrison played good the other night. He had the double-double.
Aberdeen's been a lot better lately, playing pretty decent. Chandler's been clutch.
Listen, let's be honest, though. Kentucky does not have a great offense. They're 12th in the SEC, but the offense is better from its form early in the year.
Well, let me ask you something about Tennessee. Is Tennessee really just two players? If you can hold two players?
I think you got to let one go and let the other. I think what you're going to have to do tomorrow night is you're going to have to put Owe on Ament. I know Ament's 6'10", 6'9", 6'10", Owe 6'3", but you're going to have to push somebody into him to get him rattled. And I think you put Aberdeen on.
I don't know, man. I think if you could put some height on him and bang with him a little bit, but they got to be able to stay with him. So I don't know.
Like you're talking about, we just talked about A&M, Florida. You got Tennessee and Kentucky now. You got Houston, BYU. You got Arkansas going on the road to Mississippi. Like, Brad, we have a fun day of college basketball tomorrow. Like, that has a lot of implications on the SEC.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it. The 96 team's coming in tomorrow. They're wearing the blue denim jerseys. There's a lot. The place is going to be absolutely electric. Like, this might be the most electric crowd Kentucky has had probably all season long. Like, this place is going to be nuts.
It might be. I mean, the hatred of Tennessee's real.
And you got Brad's favorite announcer, Jimmy Dykes, calling the game tomorrow night. Oh, I had to get you, man.
Oh, man. Now I'm not looking forward to it at all. Listen.
But anyways, Kentucky, I think they win this game. I think they cover.
Maybe they won't bring the cheerleaders.
They probably will. I mean, that's just – but give me Kentucky, Brad. I think
that was a Jimmy Dykes joke, if y'all didn't get it.
His daughter cheers for Tennessee. Yep.
I said maybe they won't bring the cheerleaders, so he won't have something to –
Here's the thing, Brad.
Rub in our face all night.
You win this game, you get a whole bye week, right? And you got Florida next week in the Odom.
Yep.
You're setting up for one of the biggest games of the year next weekend in Gainesville if you can win this game tonight or tomorrow night. So
it'd be a big matchup if we can get there. We got to win this one.
It would.
Y'all know I'm Kentucky all the way. I'm ride or die when it comes to Tennessee, and that's just all there is to it. I'm just telling you. I'm ride or die when it comes to Tennessee. John, I would so much rather die. You have no idea. I'm ride or die. All right, John, there is one more game on Sunday. Michigan is at Ohio State. This Michigan team on Sunday, I mean, they're great. Ohio State's like 15-7, 16-7, something like that. Do they have a shot at home?
Man, this Michigan team is really good. Like, everybody talks about, how Dusty May was going to figure things out at Michigan coming from FAU. Well, let's be honest, Brad. He might have a better team next year than he has this year. And that's scary for college basketball.
Guess what? He's keeping players around.
Yeah, retention. Yes.
Yes.
That
That's
helps.
how he's doing this. That's how he done it at FAU. He's doing the same thing at Michigan.
Yeah. I'm going to go Michigan, Brad, but I do think Ohio State, I mean, they can lose this game, still make the tournament, but I think it would help them if they won this game.
Yeah.
This would be if Michigan was going to lose one, I feel like this would be one they would lose going down the stretch. So, but I'm going to go Michigan. I think they win this game at home or on the road. It won't be easy. Let's just put it that way.
Well, it's a big rivalry game between Michigan and Ohio State, and Ohio State's got a pretty decent team, turning things around a little bit. But man, Dusty May and the Wolverines have played just exceptional this year. They have a great team. You talked about Yaxel, and I mean the FAU guys that Dusty May brought over. I mean, just doing a fantastic job, and might have a chance to cut down some nets later in the year. So I'm going to go Michigan. All right, John, I got about five, I think, 5 or 6, I believe, women's games to talk about. The first one is Louisville at Syracuse. And people think, Syracuse, why is he talking about this one? Syracuse is 19-4 on the women's side this year. And Louisville, after a great streak, got beat last night. And on Sunday, they're going to go play the Orange here and got a pretty good team. Do you think Jeff Walsh, figures it out and goes on the road after a tough loss at home versus Duke last night?
Yeah, I think Louisville wins this game. Now, I like this Syracuse team. They get after you and they hustle. They play hard, but I think Louisville needs to win this game. I think after a loss to Duke like that, I think it's
climbed to number 6 in the AP poll. Of course, they lost.
I think it's in the back of their mind to go out there and win this game. I think they win this game.
All right, I'm picking.
I wouldn't say it'll be a blowout. I do think Syracuse will keep it tight though.
But I just found it interesting because Syracuse has really played some good ball this year. And going on the road after a loss like that, tough loss at home, 1-point loss, sometimes that can be tough. All right, one of the big games of the week. This might be the biggest game of the week, to be quite honest with you. These are top 5-ish, top 6 teams in the country here. UCLA is at Michigan, big one in the Big Ten. Do you think the Bruins can steal a big time game here on the road?
Listen, man, this Michigan team is really good. I think they're top 10 scoring in the nation. They got some unbelievable guard play. Olivia Olson, she leads the team. This is a really good Michigan team, Brad. But you also got to remember who UCLA has. UCLA's got, Laura Betts, Kiki Rice. They're averaging over, I think, 30 points a game, a night. They have a really good offense. And this is going to be a tough game for UCLA on the road.
They play like 10 or 11 players too. UCLA does.
I'm gonna go Michigan, Brad. Here, I'm gonna go upset. I think Michigan wins. I think this is the game that Michigan finally says, you know what, we're going to win more, and they do it.
They beat Michigan State last weekend. We talked about that game. They beat Michigan State. This is big. This UCLA is a top 5 team. Been all year. Will be. So this is a bigger game. This is at home. This is a game that it's a statement game. If you could win this, I think Michigan is a top 5 team next week.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the Wolverines at home. I'm not real confident in that. I would not bet that if I was a betting man. All right, Tennessee is at South Carolina. This is a pretty big game as far as SEC rivals. But Tennessee has been up and down, kind of struggled here and there. They've snuck out a few wins, including last night or yesterday.
Well, people don't remember they got the drub into UConn,
Yeah, they got the drub in UConn earlier in the week. They had to come from behind and snuck out a win last night. I think Mississippi State, I believe, if that's right. 72-76.
I'm going to be frank, and Kim Caldwell's not going to be happy with me. I just don't think this Tennessee team is that great.
They have some good freshmen.
They do.
But their upperclassmen are not playing great.
They're not. Talasia Cooper, I feel like,
they're just not playing great.
I'm going to go South Carolina. I like South Carolina at home. This South Carolina team is really, really good. Joyce Edwards.
They rarely, and I mean rarely, lose.
Rare. Medina Ocock.
In Columbia.
Anaya Latson. Like I said, Edwards. They've only lost to 2 teams, Texas and Oklahoma.
It's not bad team.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
I'm just saying, and Don Staley going into that environment and having to play against that's
I have seen that crowd. I'm telling you, that is probably the most ruckus crowd in women's basketball.
Yep. Give me the South Carolina Gamecocks, and I'm not so sure it ain't a blowout.
It might be, actually. I'm taking South Carolina in this one as well. All right, I got 2 games on Monday night. The SEC does these late in the season on Monday night. There's some marquee games. The first one we're going to talk about is Oklahoma at Vandy. This should be a good one, man. Michaela Blakes is special. Aaliyah Chavez is special. I mean, sophomore, freshman, but, man, I'm telling you, they're special players. But
Vandy is good.
Really good.
Player of the year contender, Michaela Blakes. She's
at home. They're going back home. They get Oklahoma.
Everybody talks about Blakes, but what about Aubrey Galvin?
She's just a dog. I saw her last night up close and personal, man. She is in your grill.
6.1 assists a game, Brad.
On defense, though, she's a dog. She's in your grill. I swear, if she can, jump inside your shorts, I believe she would. She's just she's everywhere.
She's everywhere. And then you said Oklahoma.
It's Oklahoma.
This Oklahoma team is just they've kind of been up and down, Brad. Let's be honest. They had the win over was it South Carolina in overtime?
They did.
They lost to Kentucky. I love this Oklahoma team, but they got to get consistent. And going on the road and having to play in
Memorial,
it's kind of tough.
It is.
I'm going to go Vanderbilt. I'm going to pick Vanderbilt to win this game.
I think that's where I'm going to go to, is to take the doors, take Vanderbilt in this one. After
I
watching,
love Michaela
I
Blake.
have seen both of these teams play this year. I've covered Kentucky, so I've seen both of these teams play. In my opinion, up close and personal, at least in one game, Vanderbilt was by far a better team.
Well,
Now,
the thing about Vanderbilt, you got Michaela Blake who can go for 40 at any given night.
absolutely.
Like she pulls up.
And if you can hold her to 30, that's a good night.
Yeah.
I'm not even playing.
A good night's 30.
And here is the kicker for this game. Reagan Beers cannot stay out of foul trouble. That's their biggest problem with this team. Is she's just a hoss. She like mauls people, and like you have to be able to play without getting. Like, if they called every foul on her, she'd have 12 every game.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And she gets in foul trouble nearly every game, and I think that's what you're going to see here, to be quite honest with you.
By the way, St. John's just knocked off UConn. So
nice win.
Put that in the belt honor for Kentucky because we beat you, St. John's. That's another resume kind of win.
Yeah.
So
all right, John. Monday night, Kentucky is at Texas. This is going to be a tough one, man. Like Texas has been a buzzsaw this year.
Nick Schaefer, he's turned, like I said, he's turned Texas into a powerhouse. You know, they're on pace, Brad, to win 30 or more games in 3 straight years.
Yep. And probably going to do it.
A major reason?
The main reason is actually defense, man. They are so tough, man, on defense. They are so hard to score on.
Roy Harmon is so good. And here, I'm gonna say this.
And he's tough on her. I mean, really tough on her.
I'm gonna say this about Kentucky. You know, they got some big wins, Brad. You know, they beat Louisville, beat LSU. Clara Strack, I think she leads the team 16 points a game. You can't drop games like losing it, Mississippi State, going on the road and getting behind, turnovers.
Jerry, they do need this, but
this is not the same Kentucky team that we saw earlier in the year.
The beat LSU and Baton Rouge.
I don't know what's happened. I don't know if it's just a mental thing.
I'll tell you, Jerry, you're saying they need this. I'll tell you what this is not the game, man. With the way they've been passing the ball and the turnovers they've been having, I'm telling you, Texas will probably eat that up. Vic Schaefer they will press and be all over us all night long because
they
showed the pattern to do it, how to do it.
I don't want to get, everybody all in a frenzy, but if they can't keep the ball under control, they can lose by 30.
I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. I really do.
I don't either. I'm just saying you're going to have to go in there with some kind of mindset that Kentucky did with.
And they're going to have to hang on to the ball. They're going to have to hit some free throws. They went 11 of 16 last night from the free throw line. They missed 3 in the fourth quarter.
I look at it from an aspect of the Kentucky-Arkansas.
Oh, I might have lost John. His computer might have went dead or something. But listen, I love these girls. Love them. Y'all have no idea. They actually mean something to me. I have been covering them for 3 years, 3.5 years. But this is going to be a tough one, man. I just don't think that we're going to see going to be able to see Kentucky get one in this one, to be quite honest with you. I think that's what I said. So, I'm gonna give it to Vic and the girls here, man. They're absolute tough. You're not gonna go into Texas, probably in Austin, and win this one. But one thing for sure that Kenny's got to get right, he's got to get these girls to come in confident. He's got to get them to play well. He's got to get them to stay out of turnovers and just play good again.
The one thing that I was trying to say before I got was you got to go into that mindset that what Kentucky did with Arkansas. Everybody's got their, backs against the wall. Nobody's giving you any opportunity, chance to stay in the game. You come out and you start fast. You get up. Kentucky got up 14-5, started early.
Yeah.
You can't give a team like Texas early momentum, easy baskets, because Madison Booker and Roy Harmon's going to get after it. Roy Harmon might be one of the better defenders in the SEC.
I'm telling you, their defense is fantastic, and Kentucky better be preparing for it because they have an extra day. They usually play on Sunday. This is on Monday, so they have an extra day here to prepare for this game. And the Cats really need to come out and play well. You are right. It would be kind of the mindset that Kentucky used at Arkansas for the men. You have to come out, jump out fast. You got to play well. You got to shoot well. You got to force some turnovers. Get some fast break points. Hit your layups. You just got to play well to beat a team like Texas.
You do.
But I'm going to take Texas in this one. Everybody knows how I feel. If I am wrong, I'll be the first one to say how happy I am. So,
and while we're at it, real quick before we get off, because we're almost to 2.5 minutes. I want to do my Super Bowl picks real quick. I'm gonna say this real quick about the Super Bowl. The story of Sam Darnold is quite amazing.
It is.
From the Jets.
3 teams have given up on him. Is that right?
I believe so. The Jets, most recent, I guess it's the Jet. Well, his more recent starter being kind of acclimated to the team.
Yeah.
For me, it was the Jets. And he comes to Seahawks. He's got them in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. On the other side of the spectrum, you got a kid, Drake May, that is, got not beat out by Matt Stafford by 1 point for the MVP. 1 vote.
Yeah.
You got Sam Darnold, Drake May going at it for the Super Bowl.
It blows my mind.
It's quite amazing. It's not your normal Super Bowls. It's kind of neat to kind of have this because we've not had this. And I'm just going to pick my pick. I'm going to go Seahawks. They've been the best team all year. They played really good defense when it mattered. Their offense can score with anybody. I just think they're just too much for the Patriots.
I'm going to have to go Seahawks. I just can't. I can't go Robert Kraft here. Haven't they won enough? For not just my lifetime, everybody's? I'm not sure.
And the thing is the Seahawks haven't won one since, was it Russell Wilson? I think that's the
only one they've ever won. So
was early when he in his prime.
Yeah.
Was Russell Wilson. So just thank God the 49ers wasn't in
it. That's a shot to Jerry right there.
Oh yeah, sorry Jerry, I had to do it, man.
That's a Jerry Carter shot right there.
I had to do it. I thought it was pretty. He's probably gonna get me on my Cowboys. That's all right. Ain't no big deal to me.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We have ran a little bit long tonight, but we're gonna wrap it up. We hope you enjoyed the show. This has been College SportsCast, our Game Day Pick'em show, with a little bit of Big Fuss and some new topics with bracketology. We'll try to shorten that up a little bit next week. Maybe we'll do 4 or 5 instead of trying to do 6 on each one and kind of shorten that up a little bit. But we had fun.
It's almost conference tournament time.
Yep, we're getting close.
It's wild. It's wild to think about.
That's the reason why we're gonna try to continue to do some bracketology here. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Y'all have a good night. We will see you. And Say
No.
this.
Monday, probably Tuesday.
The girls are playing Monday night, so we'll see if we'll do it Monday or Tuesday next week.
Might be Tuesday. So,
all right. Y'all have a good night.
Yep. Have a good one.